Hi, second year. Welcome to the desktop publishing unit. Unfortunately, because we're at home, we will not be able to use the Zara package that we would normally use, which you were introduced to in first year. Instead, what we're going to have to use is another package that we can access in the Google Drive. What I intend to do today is introduce you to Google Drawings, the desktop publishing package that we can use. And then next week, we can have a look at the different desktop publishing terminology and techniques that graphic designers tend to use when they're using these desktop publishing packages. So what I want to do now is show you where to access Google Drawings, and I'll introduce you to all the different tools that you can use in Google Drawings. To find Google Drawings, what you have to do is go to your Google Drive. And if you're just at the home of the Google Drive, you can click on New and then go to, once it loads, you can go to More underneath the usual things that we use, Google Docs, Google Sheets. If you go to More, you then have Google Drawings. You will have used Google Drawings before, but you won't have used it for what we're intending to do with Google Drawings in the desktop publishing unit. So if you click on Google Drawings, it will take you to this page here, which you may recognize. What you could do is quickly name it maybe DTP Introduction. Then you can always come back and access this from your Google Drive whenever you need to. At any point, remember, you can pause this video and you can make sure that you've caught up with me and that you're working to the same level. Please do send your teacher, whoever it is, any questions should you want to find out a bit more, or if you're stuck with anything, or you can message me, Mr. Haig, directly, and I'll be able to offer you a bit of support. Okay, but remember, you can pause this video at any point or go back and watch parts over and over again. But it will be a brief and simple introduction to using Google Drawings. So the intention for this unit is to design a magazine cover. However, we do not want to start designing a magazine cover until we know the terminology and the different techniques that graphic designers use, and we don't want to start anything until we know how to use this package. So that's why I'm going to show you all the different things that you can use, all the different commands from this package. If you think back to Zara last year and the different things that you were able to make and the different shapes and lines that you're able to draw, that is the sort of thing that I'm going to show you today. And then from next week, we'll start looking at the different graphic design terminology and techniques. But today, I'm just going to introduce you to this. So first of all, we have the main page. It looks different to a normal Google Doc page or a Zara page, which was blank. Instead, we have different squares across this page. Down the bottom of the page, you can make your screen bigger. You can make it smaller, but you don't need to fiddle about with this too much. I'm just wanting you to be aware of that. You can also have a look up here to the top left. It has the normal commands that you will see in a Google Doc or whatever. It's got File, Edit, View, Share, and Insert, etc. Okay, so we'll have a quick run through these, what these commands here are, and then we'll start the nitty-gritty and have a look at what we want to do today. So you have File, it's all the same as normal: download, email, language, move to bin, make a copy, new. Edit, that's just editing things: undo, redo, paste, copy, duplicate. You have View. We'll come on to this in future lessons and have a look at the guides and the rulers. These rulers, there you go, you put them on, it will show you those rulers like in Zara. Guides, let's add vertical guides. Again, we do not need to look at this week. We'll have a look at that in more detail in the coming weeks. We have snap to, the grids, the guides, should we want to do that. And you can make this full screen if you want to. However, I do not want to do that. I want to show you the controls. You have insert. You can insert an image and you can insert that from the web, upload from the computer, your Google Drive, a camera, text box, shapes. There's lots of different shapes that you can use. We will use these shapes later on in this lesson. A table if you want to add in a table, a chart, a diagram. If you want to ever add in a diagram, we will not be doing that this lesson. You can add in word art. Let's type in Mr. Haig, and that will come up there. You can insert lines, lots of different types of lines, but what you'll notice is it does have these options here: lines, shapes. So you've got the drop-down menu, text box, insert image. So insert, all these commands are already here for you on the page. You then have format. These will become available to you should you add something onto the page. Let's add in a basic shape. And if you go to format, you can then add in text. All these become available to you. But again, what you'll notice is as soon as you add something into your page or click on it, this ribbon here will change. And everything that you have in format is now available here for you as well. You have bullets and numbering, which are over here, line spacing, which is here, text, bold, italic, etc. And all that is right here for you. Okay, so all these different drop-down menus up the top, you will be able to access them as you move through the lesson. Okay, so what I want you to do just now is spend maybe a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, just playing about with the different commands, adding in some lines, adding in some shapes, text boxes, inserting images. Have a play about with this. It's not any different to what you've done previously. All you need to be aware of is when you're adding things in, it's best to click and drag. Okay, so if I add in a line, if you just click, it'll do that, whereas you'll have to click and drag your line like that. If you press escape, you can then get away from that command that you were on. So play about with this for a couple of minutes just now. Okay, so now that you've had a wee shot of playing about with these different commands, I'm now going to show you one or two more things in detail. So if I add in a shape, just another basic shape, obviously you can change the way it looks. So I'm going to make it red. You can do whatever you want. You can add in text should you want to add in text, and that if you double click, you can then type in whatever you want, Mr. Haig here, highlight it, and you can start rearranging things, alignment, should you want to do that. But the main thing I want to show you is at the end here, format options. With format options, you can change the size of your shape, should you want to do that, clicking here for the height, the width. You can rotate, you can flip, and you can flip vertically. So you have flip horizontally, flip vertically. Okay, so this is a bit more like the desktop publishing packages that are available and what you've done before in Xara. And this is where you can have a bit more fun with your designs. So that's the size and rotation, position. If you want to position things on your page, you can change the way it's positioned. Obviously, you can just click and drag things about the page, but this is for a bit more detail. You have text fitting, then where your text is, you can move that about the page. Padding, it's just up and down again, left, right, bottom. Okay, it just moves it away from the bottom, from the top, from the left, and from the right. Okay, so that's there should you want to make your writing position perfect. You have drop shadow. What this drop shadow is for the shape, not for the writing. This is for the shape itself. And what I'm going to do is skip transparency, skip angle, and come to distance. And what drop shadow is adding a shadow to the bottom of your shape. The reason I've gone for distance is you can't really see it, but when you move distance, you can see a greater shadow. I'm going to maybe put it about there. Angle will allow you to angle it around the shape. I'm going to put it here so you can see it. Transparency. You see that coming in. It becomes quite darker if you move over to the left. If you move to the right, it's a lot lighter. It's a lot more transparent. And then you have the blur radius, and that just extends out the blur across the page a bit more. Okay, so that's there, the drop shadow. You can click that on and off. You can change the color should you want to change the color. And you have reflection. What reflection does is it just reflects what you have above. Okay, so if I do distance again, I'll take this shape, have a reflection. Imagine there's a horizontal line here and it reflects from that horizontal line. Again, you can have size, make it bigger, make it smaller. Let's have it like that, transparency. You can make it more transparent. So these are more options for your design to play about with. What I would like you to do again for another couple of minutes is play about with this here. And I'll remind you where I got this. I got this over on the right, format options. And if you're not on a shape, then you will not be able to use your format options. Even if you come up to format, it's all blanked out again. So you have to click on your shape. Now format is there. Or you come along to format options and you can click on all these different things. So play about with this for a couple of minutes just now. So now that you've played about with the format options, what I'm going to do is set you a task, and this task will take you the rest of this lesson to do. What I'm wanting you to think about is the documentary that you watched about typography. And I want you to pick your favorite subject in the school. And I want you to design a logo for that subject, thinking about the typography documentary that you watched. I've made two examples here. CDT, obviously everyone's favorite subject, craft design and technology. And I've also put in English here. I've used two different types of fonts for the different subjects. For CDT, I've used a sans serif font, and for English, I've used a serif font. The serif font has the wee flicks at the end of each of the letters, and it gives it that classical effect, whereas the sans serif font is more block capital, and it doesn't have the flick. The reason I've used the serif font for English is to give it that classical effect, and I've also made the colours black and white. Thinking about pages on a book, black and white, I've also used this ribbon in the background. Okay, as if it was like a page in a book or something. Whereas CDT, I've made it look a bit more electric, stand out a bit more. Obviously, because our subject stands out in the school. So what I want you to do is think about your favourite subject and how you can make your logo really stand out and relate to the subject. Okay, I'll show you how I made these very quickly so that you can then get on with your own design. So what I'll do is come back to this page. I'll delete what I've done already. And what I did for these logos is I started with a text box. If you don't start with a text box and just go straight into shape and write text in the shape, you won't be able to edit the text the same way as if it's separate from the shape. So what I'm going to do here is type in CDT. You can then make the font size different. I'm just going to go straight in, type in 100, click enter. And do I want to Arial? I'm going to use Oswald again. Some of the different fonts have more options. If you click over or hover over, it gives you more options. So I'm going to come over here and click, let's go for semi-bold, CDT. There you go. You can obviously change the color of the font. I'm going to go red. And what I'm going to do is add a shape into the background. So I'll click shape. What shape do I want? It could be any shape at all. And I'm just going to go with the same shape as what I used before, which is this one here. Obviously, you can change the size of it. And if you want to put your text on top, what's happening to me just now, you can right-click your shape and go to, if your mouse allows you, order. So I can then go to send backwards, and that will allow me to bring my text to the front. What I might do quickly is make this shape smaller and reposition the font or the text within that. So now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is click format options on my shape. I can then add in a drop shadow, and you can think about what color you want for the drop shadow. I'm going to use red so it harmonizes with the text. Distance, I'm going to make it a bit bigger. I'm going to angle it so it's down to the left, bottom left here. And transparency, let's make it a little more bold. There we go. Obviously, you can have blue if you wanted blue. If you wanted it darker blue, you can have that. You can make it a contrasting color. You can make it green. But I think it looks best with red harmonizing. What I'm going to now do is show you the next effect that I did. I just simply added another CDT text to the backgrounds. So I just clicked on CDT, click in the box, and I just copied that. So you can right click, you can go to copy, right click again, and you can paste. If you're using a Chromebook, obviously to right click, you have to click twice on your mouse pad to do that. But you could also come up here, you can go to edit, you can copy, and then you can go to paste as well should you want to do that. Okay, it's however you best feel you want to do that. So what I will now do is change the font color, make it black. And what that does is help enhance the writing. So I'm going to order, send backwards, and look at that. Look at the effect it has on the text. Makes it stand out a bit. So that's that there. All I've done differently is made the text italic. I have added in the dots, but it's pretty much the same sort of idea. And for English, you can probably guess what I've done now. Text box, I've just gone and typed in English. Change the font. What did I make it? Merriweather. And I will make it bold. Change the font size. I'm going to make it 100, not 100. And there you go. Serif font makes it look more classical. And then I just simply added a shape in the background. Here we go. Again, that's on top of, right click order, send backwards. And what I did this time was changed English, made the font color white, and I made the shape, I made it a black color. Okay, and that's all I really did to that one. And played about with the position. And to do that, what you can do is click on the shape, maybe move it about. Another quick thing I want to show you is the different shapes. If I bring in this shape here, it's very similar to what I've used here. The difference is with this shape, you can click the sides here. Some of the shapes will offer you that option to edit the shape. Okay, so they're very similar, they're just different. The shape that I brought in was that one. However, if you bring in this one, it will allow you to edit it. For example, I bring in this shape as well. It'll have this yellow diamond that will allow you to edit the shape should you want to do that. Okay, so be aware for the different shapes options and what they allow you to do. But that is pretty much it. Play about with a logo and come up with an idea like I have done here. Okay, any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Hope you have a bit of fun doing this, and we'll continue next week with the desktop publishing terminology and techniques. Hope you're safe. Speak to you soon.